So here's a good way to blow all your money. I got a new tool! So on the other channel, The Roadhouse, I like to do tool reviews that are in-depth, but I have a really good look at the tool first. Like, I use it for a good amount of time before I do a review on it. On this channel, I like to do tool reviews where I have a brand new tool. In fact, I got a couple of brand new ones, and these here are the Snap-on TechAngle torque wrenches, the digital ones. So, well, let's just have a look at them. So these guys, they come in the usual amazing blow mold cases, of which most of the guys that I know that use these things, they keep the blow mold case for a good year or so, and then they just throw them in the toolbox because they realize how actually rigid these things are and stout. They can actually take a decent beating without getting beat up too bad. Yeah, do take care of them. You take care of your tools, they will take care of you. Wow, this is a really long wrench, so I'm trying to get the whole thing in the shot here. But yes, this is the digital TechAngle wrench, and I also picked up the 3/8 drive version. Now, why would I get the 3/8 drive as well as the 1/2 inch? You would think that most times that you're using these, you'll be using the 1/2 inch. Now, this is not a wrench for torquing wheels. This is, I mean, not that you can't torque wheels with this. It's overkill. It's like mad overkill if you're torquing wheels with this. Clicker is just good enough. This is for a little bit more intricate, like engine work, stuff like that. This it was a must-have for me. If you've ever done head gaskets on a Duramax diesel, you want one of these. The TechAngle that's required to torque down the umpteen bolts that are on those things. It takes forever with the old dial gauge setup with the dial and the thing you strap down, and you're never quite sure if you got it right. And yeah, I can attest for how brutal that is. Now, Snap-on makes these. Ultra Pro makes these. A bunch of companies make these. Why get the Snap-on one? When you're buying high-end tools, buy them high-end. I always feel that way when it comes to this kind of thing. Impact wrenches. I just recently bought the Ingersoll Rand QTI Max. That I'm gonna use it every day. I want to get the best of the best. I didn't want to buy some Earthquake or whatever with a bunch of marketing wank that's gonna make you think it's good, and then a year later it blows up. So this set of torque wrenches, they on the surface, yes, they look fantastic. This is an upgraded model from the previous model. The previous model apparently had a different end cap. And what they did was they made it more of like a motorcycle style handle. And the reason why they did that was so that guys wouldn't grab it by the end and twist on the cap, because it just was the case. And the caps would always break off, so they made it uncomfortable to grab it on the end, and made it so you want to get a firm grip on it. And yep, the caps don't break off anymore. Now these come with batteries. And Snap-on says that you ought to store this thing with the batteries not in it, because batteries could potentially leak. I don't know, you guys out there, if any of you guys have one of these, tell me if you actually store it with the batteries out. I don't know anyone who would actually do that. I'm not gonna do it myself, but they recommend that you don't. I'd say don't ever buy crappy batteries. It comes with the energizers. Maybe Duracells would be good too. but just don't get your usual, you know, 50 pack for $3 and throw them in these. If they leak, they'll damage it and it voids the warranty. You can't warranty that. Depends on your relationship with your local dealer, I suppose, when it comes to that as well. There we go. It just recognized that it has batteries in it. This thing is fantastic. Not only is it a digital torque wrench that will look, it'll tell you with a load, using a load cell, how much torque you have applied to it. It will actually tell you after how much the final torque was. And it sounds trivial, I know, but here's where it's really important. When you set it to the torque angle, it zeroes out. You gotta set it down. It'll zero out. So when you're doing torque to yield bolts, say a head gasket or anything torque to yield. In fact, actually I have some bolts here that are torque to yield out of, I believe this was BMW. And these bolts, they're aluminum. They're aluminum fasteners. It's aluminum, I forget where they were off of, but I think it was some sort of intake manifold where the intake was aluminum, the upper and lower plenum was aluminum. They wanted to fasten them together with aluminum due to heat expansion. So as the aluminum parts expand and contract, they wanted the fasteners to be the same material, and these are torque to yield. So you have to first apply a certain amount of torque and then get an angular turn on them, which stretches them. So they're one-time use. That's why I have them, because I didn't put them back on the car. I had to replace these fasteners, and these are no good anymore because they have been stretched, and you can't do it again. Basically, you can't stretch them again. You run the risk of them breaking when you're torquing them down or on the road. So it's very important with a lot of modern vehicles that you get the proper torque, and with the torque angle. What's nice about this is after you've torqued all of them, there's a memory in it that will tell you how many you did, and then you can review through it, clicking through, and see what the final torque was. So if you had one of the fasteners that was somehow a manufacturing error in making it, didn't get through the QC correctly, you'll know now. You'll know before you button everything up and send the guy off on the road, because you might have a lesser torque value in the final torque on one of the fasteners, which is really, really handy when you're doing head gaskets, especially if you're tearing an entire engine apart and then you go to put it all back together. There's a lot of work to put it back together. Awesome to nip it in the bud right then. And yes, it's done. So I've got the half-inch one, half-inch drive, really, really long handle on it. It has light ups right here, little LEDs, so it'll go amber, 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 and then green. When it goes green, you'll hear an audible beep and vibe. So there's no way you can not get that it's been torqued. If you go over torque, it will turn red, give you a really loud beep and a really big vibe, and tell you that you've over torqued it. There are certain memory features. I haven't gone through everything, but you can, if you do a particular type of vehicle a lot, a certain function a lot, you can set it into the presets and it will do that. You find it in your presets and it'll already be set, so you don't have to fidget with it when you're going at that. I work in an independent shop, so it's a lot of times different stuff, so I haven't really messed with the presets yet at all. Unless there's some kind of vehicle that comes in a lot, I probably won't even mess with that much. It's really nice because it has it's backlighting. It's still zeroing the torque angle. Okay. Not quite sure yet how this apparatus works. They tell you that it doesn't matter what angle you are, if you're upright or on the side, that it will accurately measure the angle of torque angle. And you ask the guy at Snap-on and he'll tell you it's basically like the black box in a helicopter. What does that mean? I don't know. So I don't know exactly how this works. It would be awesome if there was another person out there that can actually explain how this works, because I haven't gotten a clear answer yet. What I do know is that I've tried it, I've tested them both, and they do work, and they work really, really well. So what would be the purpose of having this? It's a massive time saver. And if you do this kind of work enough, it will soon pay for itself. If you're just a home guy doing DIY stuff and you're gonna torque is a head gasket in 20 years and wheels once every fall, not worth your money. Definitely not worth your money. These were quite expensive. I'd have to say I put about 1,300 Canadian pesos just into this set alone. For what I do, definitely worth my time having these. Yeah, like I said, if you're a DIYer, no. But I'm very happy with these. So that is my first look at the Snap-on TechAngle torque wrenches. Oh, another thing to point out is the heads on these are exactly the same as their ratchets. They have the fine teeth. They're very nice. I love Snap-on ratchets. This isn't against Mac. We don't have a Mac dealer here. We don't have a Matco dealer here. But yes, if you're gonna put this up against Cambodian tire, they're fantastic. So I have a few Snap-on ratchets, and I do appreciate the attention to detail they put into this, especially if you're gonna spend this much money on a torque wrench, let alone two. So anyway, guys, if you guys like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit that like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.